I love how Westerners like to live in a culture of fakeness and lies, and every now and then the truth comes out and they freak out about it, and they blame anyone but the actual problem. So the reality of the situation is that capitalism exists and thrives within the dating market. Believe it or not, every person has a value when it comes to dating. It's not a good thing to say, it's not nice. But if dating app showed us anything, is that this is reality. Every person has a desirability. And the more desired the person is, the harder it is to get to them. So when you have a reality show where two women are competing for masculine attention, and all the guys choose one woman over another, egos are broken, feelings are squashed, and what ends up is Twitter blaming the producers for exposing the reality of the dating scene. So I find it absolutely hilarious. There's two ladies, one by the name of Gabby and one by the name of Rachel. Now, they were supposed to attract the attention of some men, and we're not talking about just any men. We're talking about very successful, charismatic, sought-after men. And when you're a man that's very sought after, you have a lot of choice. And if you have a lot of choice, then your standards go up. You're not going to put with some shit that other men would put up with. And the reality that Western culture likes to hide is the fact that when it comes to the dating scene, women react incredibly poorly to rejection. And there's a reason for this. Because if you're a man, you have to make the first step. You don't know whether or not she has a boyfriend. You don't know whether or not she likes you. You don't know whether or not she's interested. But you have to make the first step. And you are going to get rejected over and over and over again. So you get used to it. Like when you're a teenager and you get rejected the first time, it sucks and maybe you're going to throw a hissy fit. But as you grow more mature, you start to deal with it. You know how to react. I mean, you are expected by society to take rejection in a normal fashion. You're not supposed to throw a hissy fit about it. Meanwhile, when it comes to women, they're not used to it because they don't have to make the first step. They're the ones getting approached. So when you are approached, you can just say no. And you don't have to deal with the rejection. So when it does happen, like when a situation like this, for example, a reality show where the women have to initiate and they're the ones that try to get the man, when they get rejected, they're acting like a guy getting rejected for the first time. And if you remember how it was in high school when you got rejected the first time and how it made you feel, well, apparently that's how it made them feel. And it completely broke their ego, completely made them very upset, and they had to cancel the show. And of course, the show producers are to blame because what they did is that they reversed the gender roles. They took the women and they placed them in the men's shoes. And it's very difficult shoes to fill if you're not used to it. You're not eased into it. The slow burning of the frog didn't happen. Like you didn't go through high school getting rejected, learning how to deal with it, right? You're all of a sudden being placed in that situation. So why did she get rejected? Well, there were two women. One of them was Gabby, the other one was Rachel. And Gabby lost her shit at the first date. So at the first date, she started crying, saying that she doesn't know if she's going to find a man that would love her because she's too broken for anyone to love. She's rough around the edges. So she did exactly what a man is never supposed to do at the first date. And when you're at the first date, you're not supposed to lose your shit. You're not supposed to talk about your exes. You're not supposed to talk about emotional trauma. Because women have a lot of choices. Why would she choose the man that is rough around the edges and he says that he is too broken for anyone to love? Like, why would you choose that when you can choose another man that is not too broken for anyone to love and is not rough around the edges? So, when the gender roles are reversed, in this particular scenario during this reality show, the women just couldn't believe it. It's like, what do you mean they're not choosing me? Like, what did I do wrong? And then she started throwing a hissy fit, refusing to allow the competition to continue by not allowing her dating roles to be given to the other person that got chosen. So I just want you to imagine the following scenario. Let's say we have a different reality show where women have to choose the man, right? Like the same way it happens in real life. And there's this guy that doesn't get chosen. For whatever reason, you know, maybe he has an emotional tantrum at the first date, maybe he does something bad, and the women just don't like him. And they choose guy number B. Now, he throws a hissy fit. He doesn't want to give the rose to guy number B. He doesn't want to allow the competition to continue. How many people would find sympathy for that? How many people would go on Twitter and blame the producers of the show because this guy is having a big bruised ego, right? No one. But when it's happening to women, when the gender roles are reversed, all of a sudden people are like, oh my God, that is so unfair. Oh, look at these producers. Why are they putting women to go through this? Like, this is not okay. Why are they showing that men wouldn't choose her and they're choosing another woman over her? That is so horrible. Oh, we need to put a stop to it. And people on Twitter agreed and they started trying to get the show canceled, which it actually got canceled. I feel so bad and rejected, said Rachel. This is so embarrassing in public. This was supposed to be us taking the power back. We literally hand it right back to all of them by doing this. I mean, do you have any idea that you're literally describing the lived experience of any man ever? Like, so many men have got rejected in public, whether it was at high school, at work, at other places. Like, you go to a girl that you like, you ask her out, she says no, you're getting rejected, right? Do you think that for men it feels any different? And the way you're viewing this, it's like, oh, it's about power, that we need to take power back. We're not little emperors that are trying to create our own fiefdom or kingdom. It's like we have power over others. It's just the way life works, like usually women are the ones that make the choice, especially when they're young. And yeah, you do have the power of saying no. Like a guy can like you, you have the power to reject them. But when you're talking about guys like this, that are very wealthy, that are very charismatic, that are funny, then they always had the power. It's not that you gave them the power. No, they have the power simply because there are way too many women that want to be with them, so now they are the ones that get to choose. It's capitalism. It's supply and demand. They have a lot of supply, the demand is high, so they're getting to be very picky. And again, this lady doesn't like that, but it is what it is. And I do find it bizarre that people are pissed off on Twitter about it. Like, I'm sorry to say this, most of them are men, and you're pissed off about it because you're not thinking like this guy. You're thinking like a mediocre man that has difficulty even getting the attention of a girl like Gabby. And you're looking at the show and you're like, oh my God, well, if I was there, I would have given Gabby all the love that she needs and I would have been so nice to her. But a man like this doesn't think like that. A man like this probably has 100 ladies that are willing to go on a date with him, and he has to pick one. So he's not going to pick like whichever you want. He's going to pick the one that he wants, and he's going to pick the one that has something extra than the other 99. It's a difficult choice for him, right? So this is why it happened. So stop getting angry at the show. The show and the producers don't have any blame. It's just reality. It's like when you're a guy like this, if you're a football player like Messi, if you're a rock star, if you're someone influential, well, there's a lot of ladies that want to go out with you, and it's difficult to pick the one. And of course the others are going to get upset, but what can you do, right? And that's the interesting thing, because most women, especially young women, they are in the shoes of this guy. They also have 100 men that want to go out with them, and they have to pick one. And it's going to upset the other 99, but what can you do? Life isn't fair. Let me know what you guys think, though, and I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.